show. And I
It's her party.
Welcome to the First Friday Art Walk. The Art Walk is put on by Lane Arts Council every first Friday year-round, rain or shine. My name is Jessica Watson. I work for the Lane Arts Council as the First Friday Art Walk coordinator. We're very pleased you could come tonight. How many people, is this your first Art Walk? Woo!
All right.
Welcome. So basically, we have a host that leads the Art Walk tour, which is great because then you get to actually hear from the artist and hear interviews with the artists, and you can ask them questions along the way. So today, we're very lucky to have an artist in his own right, Judd Turner. Does anyone know Judd Turner? For students, you might recognize his work on the corner of 13th and Alder, that beautiful heron piece. He's also internationally known, and he has been working in our arts apprenticeship program through Lane Arts Council, which basically put him one-on-one with his student, teaching them his craft. So welcome Judd Turner with me.
Hi. Thanks for joining us on the Lane Arts Council's Art Walk this evening. Beautiful night in Eugene, and we're going to see some awesome artwork tonight in a bunch of different mediums. So I'm excited to be hosting and that you could all join me. Of the many other things you could do this evening, you chose to be here now with us, so thank you. We're here at Modern, a store run by Denise Springelmeyer. It's been here for several years and sort of at the cutting edge of interior design in Eugene. And what Modern is hosting tonight is a design competition for U of O students who are part of the School of Architecture. So there's three different sort of shows happening here. There's a lighting show. It is the 7th annual Evening of Illuminating Design, and it is a juried show, and there will be awards given tonight or later on this evening to students who excelled in this competition. There's also a interior architecture show that features several furniture pieces and people that can talk about that. And there's the Task Light Design show, which is specifically lighting for small spaces where you need to be able to adjust the light and have it use low power, specializing in LED and sustainable lights. So do we have any of the professors here? Sarah? This is Sarah Goldner. She will tell us more about the show.
Okay. Hi everybody, my name's Sarah. So I'm a student at the University of Oregon for product design. Right now we have some task lights. There's 2 that are over here and then 1 task light that is on this table. These were featured at ICFF in New York. There are some tables over here that were done by Gordon for just a design project that he worked on. Another sponsored studio that my class personally did was it was an academic collaboration with a company named Groovy Stuff that was based out of Dallas, Texas. So we have a chair, a bench. It was all very industrial, rustic inspired. We featured our stuff at High Point Furniture Show in North Carolina, and it was really great. We got to experience like all the different companies that are in the industry and really got to connect with some great people. So definitely check it out. Yeah.
Earlier, I had the chance to meet one of the light fixture artists, a fellow named David, who's right over here, and I'd really like to just call him out and call him up and call attention to his excellent work, which is up here on this back wall. And if you have a moment, I'd just like to ask you about what your inspiration for that design might have been, or what excites you about that medium.
Well, first off, it was a collaboration, so there's two other guys here that deserve recognition with me.
Who are they?
The Erics, where are they? I don't
Eric
know.
Square?
Oh, there's
Right here.
other Eric. Yeah. So yeah, this is I get 1/3 of the recognition for sure. But I think if you look at it, it's sort of at home in a modern shop, but it's a classic design. It could be really in any home, but it was actually designed for a church. Designed as a wall sconce to go in between the structure.
It's gorgeous work. Would you do me the favor of introducing your professor?
Yeah. Well, this is the mastermind behind it all, Professor Ihab Al-Ziyad.
That's okay, yeah. Thank you all for being here, and thanks for Denise for arranging this. I'm sorry I got a little bit late. But I want to commend all the students on the work that they put together for that project. And that's just a 2-week project, so these luminaires were put together in 2 weeks. And they not only have to be beautiful, as you all would agree about them, but they also have to be performative. So they are really rigorously tested to distribute light and to avoid glare or manage glare. So I really want to thank them all. I'll turn them back to them.
Yeah, it's really amazing work, and I want to emphasize again the use of LED bulbs, which are low energy, high light, sustainable. Just a really cool thing to see that the students are dedicating their time to working on this kind of a project. Does anybody have questions for, yeah, Denise.
Okay. I just want to point out the lights and let you know the students are standing beside all of their pieces. So be sure and ask them about their design and the purpose behind their lighting fixture or the furniture. But the major chandeliers and luminaires that are here, the wall sconce, this big paper chandelier, there's one right here in the middle of the downstairs. There's a big wooden one that's hanging back here. And there is a wooden turntable lamp that's right down here. So those were done by the architecture students. And the other lamps, the task lamps and furniture, were from product design.
You had mentioned that they had specific, they had designed the lights for specific locations. Can you speak about that again?
No, but you have where they were designed for.
Yeah, so each group of students took in an existing space, and they kind of used the material or the knowledge that they gained from the course to redesign the space to make it more sensory. So they used the daylighting, electric lighting, acoustics, and water to redesign the space. And these are spaces from all over Eugene, you know, the great spaces in Eugene that need redesign. So if you kind of have a space in mind that need redesign, these guys are now experts. And of course, they didn't have any trouble finding spaces that needed redesign. But that also speaks to their ability to actually envision seeing something and envision that something good can come out of it.
And these guys are still students, so you have a chance to get their work cheaper than you are ever going to get it again. So keep that in mind, please. Just give a round of applause and recognition for the awesome work on the show this evening. I want to remind you that tonight's event is sponsored by CenturyLink. They sponsored the Art Walk this evening. That's a global communications, hosting, cloud, and IT services company enabling millions of customers to transform their businesses and their lives through innovative solutions. Visit CenturyLink.com. This is the only time this evening I will be giving the full announcement of that blurb, but I will repeat it several times in appreciation for them. As we wrap up here at Modern, we're going to head down the street. We're going to go to Studio Mantra Salon, which is at 40 East 5th Avenue, a couple blocks that direction. They've got a reused fashion show and some visual art and a real wide variety of treats for us in store. So we'll head down there and meet there around 6 o'clock for what's next.
Feel free to browse the artwork here and we'll let you know when we're moving on.
I just also want to commend our GTFs and teaching assistants who are working with me and the team Ashley Tufu, and Bilal Abushi. Bilal is here, and Will Brachtel. So these are also part of the teaching team. I want to commend them on all the great work.
But it was almost that. It was just the shading at the bottom. He's in Phoenix now, so we can go yellow. Pronunciation.
Right?
Oh,
okay. I'm like, she's a successful lady, so she'd probably be like, put your money away. It's just like,
Befriend her.
good luck. But now it's totally good.
Please stay home. the last 4 or 5 months is we were kind of concentrating on a certain era of jazz, the soul jazz era in the 60s. And it's kind of a mix of soul music, you know, and jazz musicians adding their take to it. And it's a mix of gospel. And so this is really cool music. It's interesting music. This tune, however, is not soul jazz, and it was W.C. Handy. This is a first published piece of music, jazz music, and this is W.C. Handy wrote it a long time ago, and it's more of a Dixieland song. It's called Memphis Blues.
Thank you.
God's with me, basically. Kenny Burrell, famous jazz guitarist, wrote this back in that mid-60s time. So it's part of that thing. And it's really cool stuff. All right. Part of that thing. Fortunate to have a really, really great arranger in town help us. His name's Gabe Dickinson, and he used to run the university, they call them the Green Garter and the Yellow Garter bands, and they're like jazz band-ish bands that play for all sorts of functions for the athletic department. And he was in charge of that and writing arrangements for it. So he's really good and really fast at it. So we found a couple of songs, and this song is called Light, Shorten, and Bread, and it's by Johnny Otis. And we asked Gabe if he would write an arrangement of it. So there's a couple of things he's done today, and this is the first one you're going to hear. This is called Light, Shorten, and Bread. actually 1952, and there's so many versions of this tune. This is just a really cool tune. Big bands took it and did different things with it, but we're trying to go closer to what was happening then, when how it originally came out, and not some of the more modern big band versions. So I think you'll like it. It's called Night Train. player, and it's called Oleo, and it happened during this time. But this is more of a bop tune. You know, you hear it. So it was that was happening at the same time, and the hardcore bop players were steaming ahead with that, but other people were kind of peeling off and saying, wow, this other stuff is kind of fun too. So as the era kept going, more and more of these bop players were joining in, and just so it was kind of the jazz has always been this thing, a mix, a blending of different styles, and that's what makes it so cool as one of our, maybe our America's true art form. It's just continually growing and changing and picking things up. So anyway, this is Oleo. that tune that's different than all the rest of these tunes is that instead of being blues-based, which most of these tunes are, this was more of a song form, and the changes, the chord changes, are called rhythm changes because they took the chord changes to I Got Rhythm. Gershwin's I Got Rhythm. That's those, we could play I Got Rhythm right over that, and it would fit. Okay? And musicians, jazz musicians love playing over the rhythm changes because they're just fun. And then there's a bridge in the middle where it changes keys. And so it's much more of a challenge to improvise because you have to keep track of where you're at. Otherwise, it's not a happy time. So, you know, I tell them if you get lost, you just play high and fast until something good happens. That's what my dad used to tell me. He was a jazz trumpet player. So you get lost, just play high and fast. It doesn't always work out, by the way. Okay, anyway, good job. Now, if you are the best cook, you might have heard some of this before, but Last Night was written and performed by a group called, oh, you're kidding me.
Nope.
A group called the Marquis. Okay. And at the time, and this became a hit. It was a hit, a pop hit. And but they were like 16 years old, this band. So their parents were driving them around to gigs because they couldn't drive. And there was all sorts of hair-raising adventures, I'm sure, with that situation. But this is by the Marquis, and it's called Last Night. Thank you. This has got to be a collector's.
It has a lot of surface noise like that.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So we have one kind of thing left. Jim. Okay, I need to introduce Jim, the producer. Raise your hand. Jim. How did it go?
Oh, great. Yeah.
So he had the vision for this whole thing as far as soul jazz and why can't we do something and get kids from around this school and put something together. Okay, it's independent really of the school system. And so without that vision, you know, I don't know what we'd be doing. I'd be watching a golf on TV or something. So thanks, Jim, for that.
Yeah, so next year we'll be starting up, I think, in the fall. And
Yeah.
Joe, you have a jazz camp this summer through ESYO, Eugene Springfield Youth Orchestras. Yep. Brochures over there.
So a couple of things. There's an independent, not this thing, but there's a jazz camp I teach every year, totally different music, and that's in the summer, 2 weeks, the 2 weeks right after the 4th of July, and there's brochures over there. But this group, we're going to take the summer off, and we plan to re-up and recharge and get going again, but we're going to start in the fall.
Yeah, and
So
we've
you'll be
always
here.
looking for new people and
Right.
maybe building another band. We get people
Stay.
starting another band and just building the program
Right.
as we can.
So,
Spread the word.
anyway, it's gone great. I really enjoyed working with these guys, and every time they kept, just things get better, and people are improvising and changing instruments, and crazy cool, really is. I think those are the things I wanted to say. Am I missing anything?
Treats over here afterwards.
Okay, cookies and punch over there. What is it, $5 a cookie? Free cookies and punch over there.
And if I run out, I'm sorry, but I'm glad there's such a great crowd.
And I'll go get my car when we're done, and I'm going to bring it back there. If I can have, these are professional schleppers here. They're going to help schlepp the keyboard and the stands back there because they can do that really well. Okay, this last thing is kind of a medley of things. It starts out with a Ray Charles tune called Georgia, and Ryan's kind of worked it up as a piano solo. And then the second part of this is going to go into something we call Fish. There's a band called Fish, P-H-I-S-H. I don't know if they're still going. But one of the things that are a characteristic of that band was they improvise on stage. And somebody would start something in the band, and then the next person would listen to that, and then try to add on to that and complement that, but it was something different. And so it's really a listening situation where you have to listen, play in time, work with each other. And so we're gonna meld into that, and people are gonna start things from there, and then we're gonna finish up with a song that's appropriate to say goodbye. Okay, so. Yeah. Now, what Ryan had for this Georgia is what he has. He has the melody and the chords. But what he does with those chords, the voicings he uses, that's an improvisational thing. That's where he's putting his stamp on his version of Georgia. Because he just has the chords and the melody. And then he put that together. I think he deserves a round of applause. The other thing about the fish section, where that's different every time you do it. Okay, so Horns, would you guys just all play your fish? Let's hear it for Horns without rhythm section. You remember? Good. Maybe? Find Each time is different. It's cool. This is what's called a ligature. It holds your reed to your mouth. David has a special custom ligature that you can't find anywhere else. It's the rubber band from this morning's newspaper.
Just in case I lose it.
Just in case. Okay. So, all right. Anyway, he made it work. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure working with your students.
Thank you,
kids.
Joe.
So go enjoy some refreshments. Holly can answer questions about the summer stuff, and I'm going to let Tom.
Yeah, thank you very much. East Choir next week. After that, we've got some steel drums coming in, very different character, and then a woodwind trio. There's a full-blown opera company that does their bit about giving back to the community by offering a full opera in the atrium for free. So that's coming up too. So if you want to put your name on the email, I'll send you notices every week. But thank you very much for coming today. I hope to see you again. Bye-bye.